What's going on, guys? This is Jono from ATEBIT. There will be some spoilers here. There's a lot of spoiler related costumes, so look away if you don't want anything spoiled. I've just platinumed the game, so I thought I'd take you through each and every costume in the game. I really like that they've put so much fan service into these things, but there's no explanations of the origins for each costume. And as someone who hasn't read a lot of comics or seen all of the animated series and stuff, I was quite interested in where they come from. And I think that the Arkham games do a really good job of explaining like each character in like the, you get the biographies and you get their first appearance in the comics and that kind of thing. So I just was interested and did a bit of research into this. So I thought I would share that with you. So here we go. First costume is the exclusive to the game Advanced Suit. It refills your focus bar. So that's the special power. Not that useful in my experience. So I didn't use that one very much. Next up, we've got the Classic Suit. We all know this from the comic books. It's the, as it says, Classic Suit. First appeared in 1962 in Amazing Fantasy 15. So this is Steve Ditko's OG design, minus kind of that webbing gliders under the arms that didn't stick around too long. But yeah, Peter only briefly wears this in the game before it gets swapped out for the Advanced Suit. And then you've got the ripped version. Well, I guess that first one was the ripped version. The second one's the repaired one. Then you've got the Noir Suit, which first appeared in Spiderman Noir #1, 2008. Also appeared in the video game Shattered Dimensions, so this version of Spidey lives in the 1930s, the film noir era that you see in the old black and white movies, so naturally that's got a very different look and feel to the other suits. It's got a special power that will prevent enemies from calling for backup when alerted. The Scarlet Spider suit is probably one of the cooler ones in the game, I think. It originally was listed in Web of Spider-Man 118 in 1994. So it's the Ben Reilly suit, basically a clone of Spider-Man, and the sleeveless hoodies are, I reckon, a pretty good look, holds up pretty well after 24 years. The special power there's a projection of holograms of Spider-Man. That's kind of keeping with the whole clone idea. Next up, we got the Mach 2 armor, and that's from the Amazing Spider-Man 656 in 1999. It was made to compensate for momentarily losing his Spidey sense, and that one has a bulletproof power in this game. Then you have the Secret War Black, first appearance Secret Wars #8 in 2004, which is a run of stories with Nick Fury and the Fantastic Four. That one has a ability to shockwave in all directions, which is really good for crowd control when you're overwhelmed. The Stark suit we should probably all know from Homecoming. No, not Homecoming, Civil War in the MCU in 2016, I think. This one has a special power of calling in the Spider Bro. It's a little drone that helps out when you are fighting bad guys. Mr. Negative suit, I thought that one was cool because it kind of goes with the theme in the game of fighting Mr. Negative, but it first appeared in Spider-Man #90 in 1998. This one actually glows in the dark, so Spidey basically went to a place called the Negative Zone, and of course you got to have a suit that looks the part, so this one sends out a shockwave as its special weapon. Next up is the electrically insulated suit, and this one is one that first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 425 in 1997, fighting against Electro. Obviously the electric insulation is going to be helpful there, and this one's special power has electric punches. Next up, we've got the Spider-Punk suit. This one's pretty goofy to me. I do like the Chuck Taylor shoes, but everything else about it is kind of lame. But it originated in Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3, #10 in 2014. So this is a completely different character, a guy called Hobie Brown, who's Prowler in the regular 616 universe. He's a punk rocker, plays guitar, and that's his special power in this game. And I love punk rock, but this one's kind of ridiculous. The game even knows it, because if you wear this suit, Jono Jameson will talk about how Spider-Man's been spotted dressed in a weird mohawk punk suit. So that's a nice little touch there. The wrestling suit, I first thought this was going to be a shout out to the Sam Raimi movies, the first Spider-Man, but you look a bit closer and you can see it's actually from Ultimate Spider-Man #3 in 2000. Shout out to Brian Bendis, where Peter starts wrestling to make the most of his new powers. So the Fear Itself suit first appeared in the comic called Fear Itself #7 in 2010, and it's made out of the same Uru metal used in Thor's hammer, and its special power in this game is multiplying your damage by 4. This one here, the Stealth Big Time suit, its first appearance was Amazing Spider-Man 650 in 1999. This one, the Spider Armor Mark III, reminds me a bit of DC's Deathstroke outfit, or the Red Hood, but this one first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 682 in 1999. It was built with a lot of high-tech features to help out against each of Spidey's main villains, so perfect suit to go up against the Sinister Six. It's kind of like a all-in-one Swiss Army knife of a suit with powers that can reflect bullets back at enemies in this game, which is very useful as things get a bit more hectic. The Spider-Man 2099 suit is kind of a scary looking deal, kind of Spawnish, but it had first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 365 in 1992. So it's from the future, an alternate reality with a different Spider-Man. It's got an anti-gravity effect in this game that makes jumping and flying around a whole lot cooler, but it's also handy for some of the aerial challenges that come up from the Taskmaster, where you have to glide through the sky, chasing drones and all that kind of crap. The Iron Spider. This one we know from Infinity War. It's got the iron arms that jump out and articulate your enemies into oblivion. Very good with melee combat, so that one's a lot of fun. I enjoyed using that power. And I should say, like, these powers can be interchanged without using the suit, so you can kind of pick the look you want and the power you want, and you're not limited in that aspect, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that was first appearing in Amazing Spider-Man 529 in 2006, and that suit's been worn by a bunch of characters since then, but I think this version would be mostly inspired by the Infinity War movie that is pretty recent still. The Velocity suit, this first appeared in Marvel's Spider-Man 2018, this very video game, another one designed specifically for the game. Like the advanced suit, it's just a faster costume to get you around the city a bit quicker. The Spider Armor Mark IV suit, this one first appeared in Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 1, 2015. So like Iron Man's suit or even the Homecoming one, this one has a whole bunch of high-tech features like a heads-up display, drones, etc. And the power in this game will make you invulnerable for a short period. The Spirit Spider. This one is pretty weird. It first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 38 in 2011, and it's from another weird alternate reality where Uncle Ben never died, and instead Peter ends up dying, but is brought back to life as this ghost spider kind of thing, looking very Ghost Rider-ish. So his power is an attack that hits everyone around you, but yeah, I feel like they were kind of running out of ideas for this one. Doesn't really look like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to me. So the Spider-Man 2099 white suit you can see here, this one is similar to the other 2099 alternate reality where same character, Miguel O'Hara. So this one's from Volume 3 in 2015. But there's a storyline where this character ends up in the present day to save Peter from Dr. Octopus, and they then team up and build the white suit together. It's got a concussion strike that will knock everyone down. This one is one of my coolest, the cel-shaded vintage comic book suit. It looks kind of weird, but it's also really cool to see it in this realistic environment. It's designed to look like the old comics from yesteryear. The power is just a quip, so he'll drop a witty one-liner at the press of a button or two buttons. But yeah, it's just kind of cool to see how the light plays and bringing that old look to life in a hyper-realistic environment. It's really cool. I use that one a bit, and it looks great in photo mode. The Last Stand suit, I use this one a lot towards the end, and I reckon it looks pretty cool. Like, I feel like this is the kind of suit that a superhero would actually wear in real life. It's, you know, no spandex, just jeans and a rad little leather jacket with hood and gloves. First appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 500 in 2003. And this has a power that makes every attack unblockable. The Undies outfit. This is the last one you unlock when you 100% the game. It's got one weird power. It's called Equalizer, and it makes everyone die in one punch, including yourself. So use that one at your own risk. Look how ripped Peter is. Man, that is like some Ryan Reynolds, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman level of rippedness. And this one is story related, so it comes from, I guess, a particular scene in the game. Next up, the homemade suit. We all know this one from Spider-Man Homecoming, the movie. There's not much to say about that. Tony Stark takes away his powers, and then he's left with this homemade shebang. The Anti-Ox suit is a story-related one as well from this game, designed to take on Dr. Octopus in the final fight. And lastly, the Dark suit you unlock again in this game after completing all of, what's her name? Black Cat's challenges. So that one is a nice little reward. It first appeared in Spider-Man Deadpool number 8 2016 crossover, It has no powers. It looks kind of cool. So that is it. That is all the costumes, all 24, 23, I lost count. But I did a couple of numbers, and there's 11 from the current decade of comics and games, 7 from the 90s, 5 from the early 2000s, and 2 from the 60s. So they've done a pretty good spread of getting a lot of suits into the game. I think that the lack of symbiote suit, maybe that means we'll see some DLC or a sequel with that storyline tied in. Are there any other obvious famous suits that didn't make the cut? Let us know in the comments. You can check out more of our coverage on 8-Bit for Spider-Man. We've got the Spider-Man spoiler cast coming out on the Hungry Gamers podcast feed. If not by the time this is out, then very soon after. And also a little video I chucked up last week or the week before on some aerial tricks that you can do early in the game, and just the basics of the web swinging. So check those out, hit us with a sub, a like, all that good stuff, and stay hungry.